you go. We're back.
Are we back?
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
No, still Christmas. Okay. Lesson 30, sis. Take it away.
Okay, lesson 30. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. The idea for today is the springboard for vision. From this idea, will the world open up before you, and you will look upon it and see in it what you have never seen before. Nor will what you saw before be even faintly visible to you. That's a big statement. Wow. Yeah. Today, we are trying to use a new kind of projection. We are not attempting to get rid of what we do not like by seeing it outside. Instead, we are trying to see in the world what is in our minds and what we want to recognize is there. Just to flesh this out a little bit, Sis, you can help me if you want to, is what we're trying to see is that, as we said yesterday in yesterday's lesson, we're trying to see God in our mind. That's what we're trying to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thus, we are trying to join with what we see rather than keeping it apart from us, separating ourselves from it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the fundamental difference between vision and the way you see.
Okay.
So
So
the way we see, right,
yeah.
through the ego, right?
Right.
Yep.
So the split mind, half of it is the ego thought system, and half of it is the Holy Spirit or the mind that we share with God. And while we value or desire separation, we're giving our full attention and focus to the ego thought system. And what its sole purpose is to prove that the separation has occurred. So instead of unified creation of God, it's looking out through the eyes and the body to see fearful images, so it can be in a state of contraction. And everybody's doing this, and so everybody is looking upon fearful images, and the result is that there's just separate, millions of separate bodies, separate minds, separate views, separate agendas, private wills, right? So that's the way the world that we know how it operates. And he's asking us to shift and to start recognizing that I can forsake the ego thought system and start to join with my right mind through my choice, with my desire for vision. And so thus I will start looking out with God. And what God knows is his will is wholeness, right? One, union, love, inclusiveness, no separation, no private thoughts, right? So we're basically saying yes to the unified mind of God and wondering, what is that to look out with God? What is God seeing and knowing here in place of the ego thought system? So God is in our mind. Will we defer, allow God to reveal to us what's really going on? Otherwise, we're just defending ourselves from that present possibility of really seeing the kingdom of heaven all around us.
Beautiful. Thank you. And it might be easier for some of us to replace the word God with Holy Spirit.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, because in effect, it's the Holy Spirit in our mind, in reality.
Yes.
That's the mediator between the two parts of our mind that cannot be reconciled.
Right. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Paragraph 3. Today's idea, which is God is in everything I see because God is in my mind, should be applied as often as possible throughout the day. Whenever you have a moment or so, repeat it to yourself slowly, looking about you and trying to realize that the idea applies to everything you do see now or could see now if it were within the range of your sight. Real vision is not limited to concepts such as near and far. To help you begin to get used to this idea, try to think of things beyond your present range as well as those you can actually see as you apply today's idea. So, what he's saying here is use your imagination. I mean, don't try and willfully use it, but, open your mind. The particular thing you're seeing doesn't need to be in physical proximity. I think that's what he's saying here,
Yeah, the
right?
next sentence really fleshes that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Real vision is not only unlimited by space and distance, but it does not depend on the body's eyes at all.
Ooh.
It's a big one, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So we have vision without the body. If that's possible, then that means we're not the body.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I mean, we take it for granted through the body that the body is our sole means, basically, of perception. We use its five senses, its sight, its taste, its smell, its touch, etc. And we use that to tell us what reality is. And what the Course is trying to do here is open our mind to allow the Holy Spirit in our mind to see with us, right? For us. That's the Christ vision in our mind. And to take us away from relying on the body's senses to tell us what reality is. So we're actually going to go into a much, much more limitless, boundless place. Because right this moment, as we are recording this lesson, if I was to ask you to close your eyes briefly and spend the next 5 or 10 seconds thinking about a planet or imagining a planet on the other side of this universe, right? Just imagine it. Close your eyes and imagine that now. Think of a planet on the other side of the universe. It's millions and millions of light years away from where you are sitting or standing right now. But just imagine that planet. Imagine what color it is. Imagine the movement. Imagine what's happening around it. Does it have moons? Does it have rings around it like Saturn? Just imagine. Okay. Okay. Now, when you imagine that, if you can imagine that, how far away is that planet from you right now? It isn't. It's right there. It's in your mind. And how long did it take to span that distance of millions and millions and millions of light years away?
Right.
It took no time at all. So this is where he's taking us. He's taking us to that place. Just a little example of that. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, so where are we up to?
Second sentence, fourth paragraph.
Gee, lucky you keep tabs on that. Thank you.
I'm surprised.
To help you begin to get used to this idea, try to think of things beyond your present range as well as those you can actually see as you apply today's idea. Real vision is not only unlimited by space and distance, but it does not depend on the body's eyes at all. So the mind is its only source. To aid in helping you to become more accustomed to this idea as well, devote several practice periods to applying today's idea with your eyes closed, using whatever subjects come to mind and looking within rather than without. Today's idea applies equally to both. And I remember doing this lesson and thinking of my beloved grandfather at the time when I was so excited to do this lesson, because I was thinking then he had passed already, I think 24 years or whatever. He'd passed on. And I had this inspiration reading this lesson that I could join with him right here, right now.
Mm.
And I did. And it was wonderful. So, you know, that's something else you can do with this lesson too. If there's somebody you really love and they're either passed on or they're living apart from you and you can't join with them in person,
Yes.
Just take a few seconds, close your eyes, as he says here, and join with them. It's a real heart-opening exercise to do.
Wonderful. No limitations when we bring it out from the world of physical matter and back into consciousness, which is what he's inviting us and encouraging us to do. Yeah, to know what we are as the Christ and try then to stuff that, to limit what we are beyond a physical carcass, and then try to use our unlimited spiritual sense and try to see through eyeballs and ears. It becomes laughable. I mean, right now it's an invitation to see something differently, but ultimately what we are cannot be compressed or limited in any way. So what a beautiful invitation to start that journey.
Thank you, sis.
Thanks, sis. I loved your example with your grandfather. So true. Wow.
Thank you.
We'll have fun with that, you guys. Enjoy the day's lesson. Unlimited. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Lesson 30. Thanks, sis.
Thank you. Thank you.